Throughout Siege's history, there have been hundreds of glitches, some harmless, others completely game-breaking. Some even became legendary throughout the community, the kind of iconic bugs every longtime player remembers. Today, we're looking at the ones that truly broke Rainbow Six Siege. Starting off, we have the Vault glitch. This was a more recent bug that completely shut down attackers from vaulting through windows. All it took was placing a gadget in front of a window. It didn't matter if it was a Jaeger ADS, a Malusi Banshee, or almost anything else. Once an attacker placed the gadget in that spot, the vault prompt was completely removed from the other side, making the window inaccessible to vault through. On certain maps, this was game-breaking. Clubhouse is the best example of a map that was completely broken with this glitch, as vaulting through windows was essential for taking map controls and reaching the bedroom and gym bomb sites. With this glitch active, attackers lost entire entry routes and defenders gained a massive advantage. Next, we have the Legion and Dock glitch. This was a risky glitch to queue up for back in the day, because if you didn't get defending first, you would basically lose if the other team was doing the glitch as well. This was a very abused glitch back in the day when Hostage was still in ranked, and to pull this off, defenders needed a Legion and either a Dock or a Rook running the P90 with a revolver. The Dock would then shoot the Hostage once in the leg with the P90, and then once with the revolver to get the health to the exact threshold the glitch is required. From there, Legion would throw a goo mine straight up above the Hostage and then leave the match before it opened up and activated. When the mine finally triggered, the game incorrectly registered the hostage knock as if one of the attackers had done it. If the defenders didn't revive the hostage and the HP timer ran out, it would instantly award the defending team the round win before the prep phases even ended. The only real counter to this was Twitch. Since she had access to her drone during the prep phase, she could drive inside and shoot the goo mine before it activated. If she didn't get it in time, the round was basically over before it even started. Up next, we have the Blitz hipfire glitch, and this one had two completely different versions that were both equally broken. The older version was surprisingly simple to pull off. All you had to do was throw your drones out of bounds, and once your drone disappeared, Blitz would suddenly have zero recoil. The second version was even stranger, and it might have only worked on consoles at the time. Right before drone phase started, players would dashboard and stay out of the game for the entire prep phase. When they reopened the game after the drone phase ended, Blitz would have pinpoint accuracy hipfire. Both versions completely broke the operator, and Blitz already had a reputation for being frustrating to fight, but with perfect hipfire accuracy on top of a full shield protection, it became even more annoying than he already was. Up next is another shield glitch involving Montagne, where he could become invincible. When this glitch was active, he couldn't be damaged from the front at all. Bullets, knives, it didn't matter. The setup was simple. You destroy your first drone, then throw your second one while spamming the button to extend your Montagne shield. If you timed it correctly, the glitch would activate. On your screen, everything looked normal. You could still aim down sights and shoot like usual, but to everyone else, Montagne looked like he was just standing normally unextended. And that's what made this so broken. There was no visual tell, no way to know it was happening, and no counterplay. From the enemy's perspective, Montagne was walking at them completely unextended and firing back completely bulletproof. Moving on, we have the FPS glitch. This is a bug that showed up in multiple forms throughout the years, and every version completely ruined the round. The oldest version involved Castle, and if you walked up to a doorway and spammed both the Castle Barricade and the normal Barricade button, the game would completely break. Everyone in the lobby would drop to 1 frame a second, and it felt like you were moving in slow motion for the rest of the round. The next version was just as frustrating. All you had to do was reinforce a wall, go to the other side of it, and start spinning. That alone caused massive frame drops for anyone on low-end PCs, Xbox Ones, or PS4s. Even next-gen consoles were affected, but it took 3 to 5 players spinning at the same time to tank their performance. The most recent version didn't even require a wall. On certain maps, spinning in specific locations was enough to tank the frame rate performance for everybody. No matter the method, every version of this glitch heavily favored defenders and turned the round into a slideshow, making it one of the most disruptive bugs Siege has ever had. This next glitch was pretty unknown, but it was easily one of the most game-breaking. All it required was 2 drones. After attackers planted the diffuser, they would drive their first drone into the side of the diffuser, then using their second drone, they would push the first drone with it and push the diffuser itself. With the right angle, you could move the diffuser completely into unreachable spots, like under a van or underneath a table, where defenders physically couldn't interact with it. Once it was in one of those positions, the round was essentially over, and there was no way to defuse it, no counterplay, no chance for the defenders to recover. Up next is one of the most iconic glitches in Siege history, the Jaeger face shield glitch. This bug became legendary because of how simple it was to trigger and how completely broke it made gunfights. With the right timing, interacting with his ADS units and his deployable shield, Jaeger could force the game to attach his shield directly in front of his head. On the defender's screen, everything looked normal, but to everyone else, Jaeger appeared to have a fully deployable shield covering his face and entire upper body. It made him extremely difficult to kill, headshots were impossible, and most body shots were blocked, and if he went prone, his entire hitbox was practically hidden behind the shield. Another iconic glitch was the ability to shoot through Clash's shield. This was another easy glitch to pull off, and all you had to do was put barbed wire down, aim down sights with your shield on your back, and pick up your barbed wire while pressing your shield button at the same time. If done correctly, Clash would appear to have her shield fully extended to everyone else in the lobby, but on Clash's screen she could freely aim, shoot, crouch, prone, and move just like normal. What made this glitch so frustrating was how invincible it was. There was no animation to tell, no warning, no way to know it was happening until you were already being shot by someone who looked like she was completely shielded. Moving on, we have the Barricade glitch. There have been multiple iterations of this glitch throughout Siege's history, and every single one of them was game-breaking. The first time we saw this glitch was dated back to 2016, and it was incredibly easy to pull off. All a defender had to do was play Valkyrie and punch the barricade of any door or window, and then throw a Valkyrie camera on the debris of the barricade, and that's all it took to get an invisible barricade. The next iteration was even more disruptive. This one didn't just affect barricades, it also worked on walls and hatches. By creating a desynced bullet impact with a shotgun, players could force the game to render the barricade, wall, or hatch completely see-through on their end. The final version was another easy method that involved punching the barricade twice, then vaulting through it and mealing it at the same time. Once done correctly, it causes the barricade to become see-through for the player, giving them full visibility to anyone approaching from the other side. Attackers, meanwhile, saw a normal barricade and had no idea they were being watched, leading to free kills. Lastly, we have one of the most infamous glitches in Siege history, the invisibility glitch. This bug had two major iterations and both completely broke the game. The first version was super easy and happened during the operator selection screen. All you had to do was select your operator at the 0-second mark, and that was it. You would be completely invisible, and the only thing your team and the other team would see is your floating guns. The other method was tied specifically to IQ. By manipulating her gadget, equipment, and vault animation, players could desync her character model from the server. The result was the same. IQ became fully invisible to the other team. She could move, shoot, rotate like normal, but defenders had no visual way to track her. There were a few counters, but they weren't perfect. Frost mats would kill her, Legion goo mines wouldn't stop her, but they would reveal her position for half a second. Capcan traps could damage her, even if she couldn't be seen. But outside of those interactions, Invisible Operator was almost impossible to deal with. Throughout Siege's history, these glitches weren't just small bugs. They were moments that completely reshaped how the game was played. From defenders winning rounds before prep phase even started, to players becoming completely invisible, each exploit pushed Siege to its breaking point. Some of them were obscure, some were widespread, but all of them had one thing in common that made the game almost unplayable until Ubisoft stepped in to patch them. Looking back, these glitches have become part of Siege's identity. They also highlight how far this game has come. What used to be round-ending exploits are now pieces of Siege history remembered by players who lived through them. And as long as Siege keeps evolving, there will always be new stories, new bugs, and new moments to define the game all over again.